Thank you for watching our video blog on near-death experiences. Suzanne and I have been near-death experience researchers for many years, although neither of us has had an NDE. This particular blog series is about our recent study of prophetic visions in NDEs. There are links listed in the video description to our website and to the full presentation of our study. Hi. In this blog, we want to address a common question regarding prophetic visions. Namely, are the prophetic visions real? Two of the strongest arguments that they are real is that the visions have a distinct quality and the visions are accurate. The first point is that the prophetic visions have a distinct quality different from ordinary dreams or imagined events. They are vivid and intense and have a compelling quality. NDEer Elizabeth Crone, on page 83 of her book, says, "My precognitive nightmares are totally different from my ordinary dreams. In the nightmares, I am careening through scenes in which I am a witness to something happening in the world without the slightest ability to affect or influence it. The knowledge that I consciously have in this expanded state of mind tells me that it is not a dream. When I awaken, I feel great relief at being awake, but I can also recall every detail of what I was shown." Somewhat later she says, "There is also the rush or power of the precognitive nightmares. These truly spirit me away, as if I were on a runaway horse. There is an energy force that will not allow me to awaken, even if, as I am struggling with the vision of some horrific scene, I am simultaneously receiving information. Once I receive whatever information I am supposed to be given, I will be able to open my eyes and make it stop. Whatever I saw is seared into my memory." And NDEer Tom Beck says on page 107, "Seeing all these visions of disasters and terrorism started to affect me physically. The more intense visions would cause me to be physically weak and sometimes disoriented and dizzy. The deeper and darker the vision, the worse these effects are. Sometimes, after a particularly bad vision of terrible evil acts and many deaths, I am unable to walk for short periods of time." The second point is that the vision proves to be 100% accurate, or nearly so when the event actually occurs. The vision is verified, usually just by the NDEer. The NDEer may have told others about the vision, and the others can then verify that the vision occurred before the event. So one example is NDEer Tom Sawyer's vision of the crash of an L-1011 TriStar jet in 1985, starting on page 136. In October 1983, Tom Sawyer had a vision of the crash of an L-1011 passenger jet. He saw many of the details of the crash and of the people who would be killed. The details of his vision are given in our conference presentation. 22 months later, on the morning of August 2nd, 1985, Tom retrieved his newspaper and had a vision of the next day's headline. That meant the crash would happen later that day. He called NDE researcher Bruce Grayson, he had been consulting with him about his vision, and told him, about 6 or 7 hours before it happened, that the crash would happen that day. The plane was going to go down in a thunderstorm as a result of wind shear as it approached the airport. The crash would occur in the U.S., and the temperature that day would be 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Delta Airlines Flight 191 crashed at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport on August 2nd, 1985 at 6:05 p.m. This case is one of the veridical cases documented in The Self Does Not Die on page 208. Bruce Grayson confirmed that Tom had shared a number of details of the event before it occurred, which were completely accurate. And another example. In 2009, Elizabeth Crone, on page 87, began documenting her visions by sending herself an email with the details of the vision. The timestamp of the email provides evidence of when the vision was received. Additional eyewitnesses can also corroborate that the vision occurred before the event. In January 2009, Elizabeth and her husband Matt were on vacation in Israel. In the afternoon of January 15th, both of them were tired. In addition, Elizabeth felt a precognition coming on, so she and her husband decided to take a nap in their hotel room with her laptop close by. Within a few minutes, she was awake again, typing an email to document her vision. The email was dated January 15th at 2:57 p.m. Jerusalem time, which was 7:57 a.m. in New York. She told Matt she had seen a plane kind of floating on water, and there were people standing on the wings of the plane. Matt declared, "The physics of that are impossible. I'm going back to sleep." Impossible. The following morning at breakfast, Matt saw a news clip of the accident on TV, exclaiming, "Oh my God, look!" Elizabeth turned around and saw her vision of the day before, captured for the world to see, an airplane bobbing on the Hudson River and people standing on the wings. About 7.5 hours after Elizabeth's vision, at 3:31 p.m. on January 15th, U.S. Airways Flight 1549, piloted by Captain Sully Sullenberger, had landed on the Hudson River. But foreseen events can be off in timing or may never occur. Elizabeth Crone, page 87, says, "As many times as I have been accurate in my precognitive visions, I have also been off by a day, a week, or even a month, or because the dreaded event, fortunately, never happened." And finally, the visions are usually very specific. They are not like a passing thought or a vague image. The vision is presented to the NDEer as it will happen, or as the NDEer will see it. Frequently, they are presented as an iconic image of the event. For example, Tom Sawyer saw the newspaper headlines on the next day's paper reporting the crash of the L-1011. Elizabeth Crone saw the iconic picture of the Miracle on the Hudson. And another example from Elizabeth Crone on page 90, the iconic picture of the crash of TransAsia Flight 235. And here is her description. So on February 2nd, 2015, Elizabeth had another of her nightmares and reported it on an email at 5:52 a.m. Passenger plane with propellers. Plane is white. Foreign airline, maybe Asian. Crashes in a big metropolitan city right after takeoff. Right wing of plane is pointed straight up right before crashing. Most on board are killed, but some survivors. A day and a half later, TransAsia Airways Flight 235 crashed in Taipei, Taiwan, after hitting a bridge and falling into the Keelung River. 43 of the 58 people on board died. And Tom Beck on page 106 says, "Sometimes I see the disaster on TV just as I saw it in my vision. It often looks like the same footage. This applies in particular if the film footage is shot from above. I see most of my disaster images from that point of view." Furthermore, the NDE is shown specific details that give clues about the future event. For example, Tom Beck, page 178, saw that a comet will strike the Earth. I think it will hit in China because I see what appears to be Chinese writing on signs and vehicles where it strikes. Ken Lett says, "I saw the angry, disruptive president in a hospital bed with people standing around him before a spinning spiral disruption indicated his passing." Or the details can be given via spiritual vision. Here is an example from Ken Lett's visions. "I saw a map of an ocean around some islands far away from the western side of the U.S. It was the part of the globe around the Indian Ocean. There was a bright star emanating light out of a location in the ocean. The star was actually under the surface of the water when I looked at it closer. As I floated over the earth, there were suddenly thousands of bright lights jumping off the surface of nearby islands that flew past me at high speed. They all made the same wailing sound as they flew past in golden streaks of light, almost like golden fireworks. I knew they were spirits on their way to heaven. Then, a short time later, I heard the terrible news on TV. The destructive tidal wave of December 26, 2004 had happened and was announced. The center of the earthquake that caused it was located where I saw the star on the map." So, based on all these considerations, it's reasonable to conclude the prophetic visions are real. The experience of the visions has a very distinct quality. The visions occur before the event, are very specific, and are nearly completely accurate. Some details, especially the precise timing, if it is given, may be off. In some cases, the event may not happen. And we'll address that question, what if the prophetic vision doesn't occur, in our next blog. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear what you think, and we'll try our best to respond to your comments.